Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the short stream. It's going to be very short. I wasn't going to stream at all, but we've got things to do after this stream. I have quite a few things to do, and also in the morning I've got a long postponed obligation. So, without further ado, we've got two things to look at. We're gonna look at it right away. We're not gonna waste time today. Hello, Lisa. We're gonna take a look at a debate because apparently there's a debate coming of a friend of the stream, Arkael, possibly with food shops about transmedicalism. And so I'm gonna take a look at what a food shops debate actually looks like. Let's quickly take a look at what that actually looks like. So we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna do one more thing, and then we're gonna just finish for today. Yeah, I am feeling a bit better, thank you. A bit better, but you know, there's always something that throws a little bit of a wrench into things. Okay, so... Oh, just in case. Okay. Hey, we're ready. Not many people here. It's gonna be a segment, so whatever. React. So we're gonna be taking a look at what a food shops debate looks like. Here we go. Homeless man confronts me on Keffel's transphobia allegations. This one's about an hour. We'll see how it goes. If it's bad, we're just not gonna watch the whole thing. Hey, I'm here. You're here. Yes. Thank you, Fake Cal Parker. Okay, we're gonna see. There might be a food shops debate coming soon. Not for me, but for Arkael. So
We were yelling at each other on Twitter. I don't remember what it was about, but we were yelling at each other.
Yeah, because you were being silly.
What was I being silly about? Hold up, give me a second. I have to pull it
Heifels.
up.
Yeah, you were being very silly.
Was I? Hold up. What were we? Oh yeah, it was about Keffels, right?
Yeah, it was about Keffels, but you were being very silly, right?
Give me a second. I have to pull up what you said.
Like, come on, it's such a stupid argument. Like, come on, you're clearly trying to bait me, and you're trying to bait content out of me. So that's why you wanted to get into an argument with me, so then you can make a video out of me. So
I don't think I've ever made a video about you, actually.
Yeah,
which
now's your
admittedly,
chance.
I definitely should. To be fair, I have like decidedly.
Great. Right off the bat. We're just talking about this to make content. Okay. Right, great start. Great start.
Not been focusing on clout chasing.
Wait! You guys don't have to focus. You guys don't have to care about Keffels, but this is about a broader topic. Okay, it's about minority responsibilities. Okay.
No, yeah, it is.
Again.
Okay, so you said, hold up, I have the tweets. Do you want me to just drop the tweets?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
Chat. Go ahead. What do I do? What do I put it in? Do I put it in voice? What do I do? Should I just send it to you personally? I can do that too.
Okay.
I can.
Food Shops has literally just parroted Prison Sunday's thing. Skip to drama meter.
Can just show it on screen.
Okay, I just sent you the tweets.
Yeah.
In a private DM.
All right. Wait. Hold on. Let me read it out. Let me read it out. Okay. Because Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Oh, also, you want my face? Hold up.
No, I don't. No, it's fine. It's
you
fine.
Want my face? My face is so pretty.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Okay. I said. I'll straight up.
That's so weird right off the bat. Okay.
Say it. Keffels.
Why not allow the person to be seen, by the way? The person you're debating?
Makes transgender people look bad with her lies. She is more transphobic than any of the people she calls transphobic. And then Quibble says, why can't she just be an idiot? Why is her being trans relevant to that? I said, she reached the mainstream posing herself as a trans activist. With how much she's lied and making back off of crazy accusations, it's another +1 to the list of trans activists who are insane. What do you think that would look like to the rest of us? And then Quibble says, so if I, someone known online for being Jewish, say something stupid about something completely separate from my identity, like healthcare, is bringing up my Judaism useful in attacking my healthcare stances? Where does this end? Can any minority just be individually stupid? Then I said...
I have to stop you. Before you continue.
Wait,
when I wrote that...
out.
Okay, fine, go for it.
Okay.
No, go for it.
So I said, Quibbles, this is silly. Keffels very specifically poses herself as a transgender activist and is known in the mainstream media as a transgender activist. This is what she's known for out there. If she just happened to be transgender, I would agree with you. Quibbles then say, do I not specifically pose myself as a Jewish activist? Not entirely sure what this means in this context too. Is that not what 90% of my albeit much smaller audience knows me from? Can I therefore not be wrong without my Judaism being brought up in reference to my wrongness? Then I say, it's specifically if you lie and get shown that you lie, and you reach a broader audience, then yeah, congrats on proving stereotypes and making Jewish people look bad as a representative of Jewish people in the broader circles. I had high hopes, and you failed them. And then Quibble said, Kyrie Irving is a flat earther. That's incredibly stupid. Does that suddenly make him a bad basketball player? People can be idiots on one subject and not another. If she's dumb on healthcare, it's got nothing to do with social policy, re trans people. And then I said, Keffels is throwing baseless accusations and attacking people, not just being wrong on science. I would argue these two are different things. One is being wrong, the other is slander. A trans activist slandering others baselessly is a bad look. If you can't concede, then rip. Quibble says, okay, how about Kanye? Is he suddenly bad at music because he's an anti-Semite? How about Kid Diddler, Michael Jackson? Something can be a bad look without making you a bad musician, basketball player, or make your defenses themselves or trans issues any less legitimate. And he continues, you didn't say Keffels is a dumb fuck or a jerk or whatever. You called her transphobic. That's silly. What she did had nothing to do with trans issues. Then I said, you're not answering my reply directly. This thread is over. Come on stream instead. Always hated Twitter debates. Come forth. And then Quibble said,
Okay, I have
sounds
come
good
forth.
when I'm free tonight, I think. And then I said, you know where to find me. And then that's it.
Well, also you had a little emoji thingy, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Keflos is transphobic. Oh my god, I've missed so much of the dramas of the stuff when I was gone. Okay, that's the premise. Keflos is transphobic, and then we're gonna.
yeah,
I have no knowledge of what happened here, so I'm in the dark. I'm gonna learn through this debate. I'm gonna be persuaded either by this person Quibbles or by fruit shops, I guess. But we'll see.
what am I not replying to directly?
I mean, fruit shops herself is a bit of a transmedicalist, so
I said the entire point revolved around her being an activist.
you've said it on Twitter, yeah.
What revolved around that?
We heard that.
So if it was just her happening to be transgender, and then she just simply was out there and then slandering people.
There was drama with her and Zan, but I don't get the transphobia accusation. Well, so far I don't get it either, so I guess we'll have to listen. And find out what's that about.
I would have been fine with that. And then I would have just attacked her on her just being a person, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you so far?
So far.
Sure. Okay. But since she has reached the mainstream media, and if you remember, I don't know how much you remember of Keffels, but from what I remember, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that she is basically like at the time fucking MLK transgender, right?
Sure.
So now, like less than a year later, when she is like trying to pedo jacket tomfoolery show, right? Yeah. And blasting me on her stream, punching down by a magnitude of like 40,000 subscribers, right? Don't you think that maybe
when did Keffels attack food shops and what was it about? Does anybody know? Can anybody enlighten me on that? Is she gonna explain? When did Keffels attack food shops? I've missed that as well. I've also missed Keffels pedo jacketing tomfoolery. I've missed everything, haven't I? I have no clue what's going on. Oh gosh. Oh no.
As a former trans activist, quote unquote, she still defines herself as that, I'm pretty sure. That maybe it's like a bad look for transgender people.
Yeah, I know Tom, and I'm pretty confident that it's bullshit when she says it about Tom, right?
I know that there was an accusation of him being a pedophile or something based on him debating pedophiles in some panel. That was a long time ago. That was resolved a long time ago. Hello, Felsin Forma. That was so long ago. What, now it resurfaced? Did Keffels resurface that? I'm so lost in the sauce. And I bet nobody's gonna explain anything.
So, like, I definitely don't agree with her, to be clear. But I think that the point that I was making about, Kanye and Kyrie Irving, or whoever, I could also bring up someone like, Bill Cosby, for example, who I think is perhaps a better example. Because Bill Cosby, for sure, 100%, was not just a black person on television, but was like known across the black community as being like the black father of TV, right? And he was like really important and was like constantly, bring up his black.
I think their name came up in passing, but the drama wasn't about them, at least not that I remember. Keffels brought it up herself in a recent stream. Can you elaborate? Can someone explain? I watched it all and I'm confused as well. Can someone explain the whole tomfoolery thing? How Keffels attacked food shops? Can somebody please explain?
Blackness in ways that were both nuanced and blunt, frankly, despite all of the things that he has done that we now know of that were disgusting, the things that he was talking about on television were quite impressive and were quite forward looking at the time that he was doing them on television. I don't think that bringing up his blackness when talking about his his obvious horrible sex crimes is a valid thing to do. Does that make sense? Particularly if you're going to call him racist.
Okay. I'll say this again. Okay. So the thing is that Bill Cosby, the difference here is that Bill Cosby never really asked to be like an activist, right? Like he never really asked to be an activist. He doesn't really define him. Has he defined himself to be an activist? You can correct me.
Yeah, basically, for sure.
He defined himself to be an activist?
The Cosby Show was one of the most activist shows, other than, obviously Fred Rogers, that I can think of in the history of television.
I'd say he was. I'd say he framed himself as a little bit of an activist. Yeah. She said that him being on the panel was why she called him a pedophile in a stream, and the other day I can find the timestamp with a bit of looking. If you could, please. Also, if you could find Keffels attacking food shops, I wanna take a look at that as well.
He called himself a black activist. He called himself that.
Did he say those words? I don't know.
No, I don't know what. Again, I don't know that much about Bill Cosby. You're the one who's bringing this up, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the Cosby Show was like known to be a positive representation of African American families. It was known for its educational emphasis. It was known for very noticeable challenging of gender stereotypes.
I don't care about the gender stereotypes. Okay, I only care about what Bill Cosby calls himself.
Specifically about black people. He was constantly bringing on black musicians. He was constantly talking about race in America, specifically in the context of the Cosby Show. It was absolutely understood at the time by many black leaders as being something that was very explicitly pro-black. Yes.
And there was this cartoon about kids, Bill Cosby kids or whatever. Fat Albert. Yeah, it's Fat Albert or whatever. There was Bill Cosby as well in it.
For sure.
Okay.
It doesn't make him any less of a disgusting rapist, and it also doesn't make him a racist, right?
Okay, great. You don't need to give these qualifiers, okay? I think that if you give out, okay, if you define yourself as an activist, or you knowingly by some reasonable means imply that you are an activist publicly,
sure.
All right? In the mainstream, especially if you're adjacent to the mainstream in any way, all right? And then you carelessly do some stupid shit, all right?
I'd say that Bill Cosby did a bit more than just carelessly do something stupid, but
then yeah, you are going to be harming the group that you are representing, and you should be held accountable for that. Yeah, obviously. This shouldn't even be a stupid take. This is not a stupid take.
No. Yeah. Switch ups. No. You just smuggled something there. I'm not saying don't hold her to account. Obviously, hold her to account. Mm-hmm. If you want me to say, hey, Keffels is being absurd right here. Hey, obviously she's wrong about Tom. Hey, obviously, blah, 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 blah. Sure. Yeah. Valid. I'm with you. What I'm taking issue with is you specifically said she is more transphobic than any of the people she calls transphobic. You are bringing up her trans identity, right?
She's being more transphobic than any person she calls more transphobic than Kiwi Farms. Okay, I'm not sure about that take. Food shops. I'm not so sure. I don't know about that.
right? Which I don't think has anything to do with this, number one. And number two, you're specifically calling her not just like a bad trans person, but a transphobe, right? Which I think
Yes.
is silly because I don't think this has anything to do with her being a trans person. It has to do with her being an idiot. Trans people can be stupid.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that they're bad trans
Mm.
people. It just means that they're bad people.
Okay, ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Do
Okay,
you
I'm gonna have to have the transphobia allegation explained to me because it just makes no sense to me so far. How does Keffel's pedo jacketing tomfoolery make her a transphobe? I don't. Someone has to make the connection for me because I just don't see it. Is this how the Yarkael debate is gonna go?
think? Do you think that if you're a bad representative of the group of people, we can already concede that if you're an activist and you do all this bad shit, right?
Mhm.
And knowingly do all this bad shit, that okay, first of all,
First of all,
can we, let's just say we take a representative X, okay? Not even saying particularly Keffels, okay? A representative X
okay.
who is knowingly, intentionally
Okay.
done some stupid shit where they know the ramifications of their actions and they have gone out and like they know that they will make their group look bad by doing these actions.
That makes them a bad advocate, not a bigot. Transphobia is bigotry. A transphobe is a bigot. You could make a case that Keffels is a bad advocate, but I don't think it follows that if you're a bad advocate for trans issues, you're a transphobe. The worst transphobe at that. Hello, Unchained Mel. Well, we're gonna get the memes because it's a debate. We're getting a debate of food shops with a homeless man, quote unquote.
Okay.
Do you think that that is a bad thing?
Is it a bad thing? Yeah, it's a bad
just simply
thing.
a bad thing. Okay.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
Now, what? Okay, if that is a bad thing,
Yeah.
all right. Do you think that that brings harm to that group? If they are an activist, especially if they define themselves as an activist of that group.
Does it harm the group? Yeah,
Yeah.
it harms the group,
Okay.
for sure.
And as an activist, do you
Yeah, but that doesn't make it doesn't then follow logically that the person is bigoted against the group. It does not follow. You can be a bad representative or a bad advocate without being bigoted against the group that you're advocating for. So it doesn't follow that if you claim that Keffels is a bad trans activist, that she's a transphobe. It just doesn't follow. You're just not connecting the dots for me enough for me to make that claim.
A debate panel from hell that I kind of want. So, this is the part where I found out that the reason he's doing all of this is because he has a personal grudge. I didn't actually remember who he was, but it turns out that I called him a pedophile once because he organized a debate panel where he organized a debate panel where he brought pedophiles onto his show to debate them, and I didn't know who he was. I had no frame of reference, and you know, if it's a debate panel and there are pedophiles on the debate panel, you know, I feel like that's more than a 0% chance if you point to a random person on the debate panel, they're a pedophile. I personally don't know any pedophiles that I can talk to bring them on for a debate, so I don't know. That's not being very charitable to me. I'm gonna watch. It might be the worst debate panel I think I've ever seen in like 2 years of like online.
It wasn't a debate panel.
In streaming politics. I won't. It has nothing to do with Vosh. I noticed it on New Year's, that this panel was going on. And it was fucking wild. A handful of people decided to spend New Year's doing a debate panel, and the topic was whether or not I was a victim of domestic abuse.
So, just to be clear, that's not what happened. Again, I understand why she gets this perspective, but that is not what happened. It was just a random hangout panel. That's all it was. I jumped on. When I jumped on, Stardust and Food Shops were sitting there talking about, like, her abuse and the fact that she was abused. And
Okay.
they said, you know, what do you think about her abuse or something like that? And I was like, I don't think she was abused. First off, I'm surprised.
Yeah, that's... He's just fucking lying. Like, what the hell?
Okay, we don't have to listen to that. So what?
That's still a debate panel.
That you guys do. I was like, based on the way that she described it, I didn't hear anything.
So did she retract the whole pedo thing here, or she just said she called him that a long time ago, but it sounds like she retracted it?
Serve as in some form or another as a representative of that group.
Yes, sort of, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
So therefore, if you knowingly do that, and
Mhm.
if you know that it harms that group, all right, how is that any more or less different than being that group phobic?
Intent?
Yeah, it's different. It's I'm sorry, it's just not the same thing. You can be a horrible advocate, you can be an incompetent advocate for a group, but it doesn't mean you hate that group and want to harm it. No, it just doesn't follow. It's there is no logical follow through here from A to B, to me at least. It's just no. I don't think so.
But the
Keffel says-
intent is
Keffel-
there.
So far, the homeless man makes more sense to me.
Right?
Wait, hold up.
Okay.
Okay. If I am a thief, right?
Wait, no. Wait, I want to backtrack a little bit. Okay.
Wait, you just
Do
gave
you-
it. Can I?
Hold on,
Can I?
no, backtrack a little bit.
Build this
Backtrack a
out?
little bit. Backtrack a little bit. Okay,
Okay, go
backtrack a
for it.
little bit.
Yeah.
Do you recognize? Wait, hold on. I'm not sure if we disagree on this or not. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I want to give my.
Do you
Explanation.
think? Do you think?
Can I get my explanation?
Do
Can I
you
get my
remember?
explanation?
Do you remember the Jewish posters discourse?
I don't. Can I get my explanation first?
Sure.
Okay. Let's say that Bill Cosby is a rapist.
Why Bill Cosby again? What's with the fixation with Bill Cosby?
Right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being a rapist, obviously horrible.
hmm
Okay. Let's say some of the people that he rapes are black women. Does that definitionally make him a racist? Or could he just be a rapist and not a racist who is just as willing to rape white people as he is willing to rape black people?
It does undermine his whole advocacy, of course, but it doesn't make him a racist, no. Just as what Keffels does sort of undermines her advocacy, but it doesn't make her a transphobe. It makes...
I think that the race of his victims
Mhm.
do not matter.
does not matter. I think that the race, singular, of his victims does not matter. Do not matter.
Okay. So
because it's one race.
is it possible that that Keffels is just incredibly stupid and incredibly willing to pedo jacket people just in general, and that her being trans has nothing to do with it?
I think that it's because she very specifically portrays herself and still currently still does as a, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, you can completely disregard me, all right? If she doesn't, okay? As a transgender activist,
Okay.
I'll fully concede if
Concede.
she doesn't portray herself currently as a transgender
It
activist.
doesn't matter. That would just make her a horrible activist, but it wouldn't make her a transphobe. You'd have to establish the transphobia. I'm sorry. That's just not enough. That's just not enough for me to establish it. Like, this debate is over. What are they gonna be talking about for an hour now? They just gonna repeat the same thing over and over and over?
I'm pretty sure she just still does.
Because this conversation has been them walking over the same point over and over and over and over again. They're gonna loop this a few more times. I'm just gonna finish watching. There's no point.
I believe that if you portray yourself as specifically as an advocate for transgender people, you should be held to a higher standard. Yes.
Yeah. As an activist, not as a potential transphobe. That makes no sense. Yeah. You're held to a higher standard if you do something stupid. You're a bad advocate. Fine. It doesn't automatically follow that you're a transphobe. So sure, yeah, we can agree that an advocate will be held to a higher standard. But it has no bearing on whether or not someone's a transphobe or not. Not really, no.
I don't know what that means. Like, yeah, if you're gonna seek out public, if you're gonna be involved in public life in general, I think holding yourself to a higher standard is valid for sure.
Right?
But I don't think that, therefore, I'm willing to say that Bill Cosby is a racist because he is a rapist, right? He's obviously a very bad representative of Black issues, and he
Right.
wasn't prior to becoming a rapist, right? But I don't think that suddenly means
I'll tell you this, okay?
He's suddenly anti-Black because he's a rapist.
It's
right?
more about the self-determination part, okay? Because I'll tell you this much.
Wait,
okay?
hold up. Can we grant that in the case of Bill Cosby?
Which part?
Is Bill Cosby, because he is a rapist, therefore anti-Black, or is he simply bad for the Black movement?
I think
Okay.
that the question more lies so there within of what he defines himself as. Does that make sense?
No, it
No.
doesn't.
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
No.
No, I'm saying it didn't make
That
sense.
is where that is where the responsibility should lie.
I'm saying it didn't make sense as in
It
I didn't
doesn't
get it.
make
Could you explain it
sense.
in a different way?
Sure, I'll explain it like this, and I'll explain why. Okay.
Mhm.
If the representation aspect is shoved onto Keffels, as in like
Hello, Tikas. I say Cosby is just a bad person. Yeah. Like, and I'm not even granting that because I don't know what happened with Keffels, okay? I don't know what happened with Keffels. But hypothetically, if Keffels did the pedo jacketing of tomfoolery or whatever else, that sort of stains her advocacy overall. And that means she's a bad advocate. But it doesn't make her a transphobe. I just don't see the logical connection here. It just makes no sense to me. It doesn't make her a bigot. It can make her a bad advocate, a bad representative, sure, but not a bigot. I think we're really confusing concepts here.
Keffals became famous, if Keffals became famous, and then people from the mainstream said, "Oh my God, Keffals is a representative for transgender people," and then
Okay.
Keffals went like, "I never asked to be a representative for transgender people. How could you? I am just a regular
That's irrelevant to your point.
human being minding my own business, okay? If I do something bad, that doesn't mean I'm a monolith for transgender people. How could you?" But she specifically,
I mean, there's also that. Just cooped up. I mean, there's also the question of how bad the thing that a person did was. Was it a one-time thing? Was it something that was ongoing, like in the case of Bill Cosby? You know? I'm pretty sure what Bill Cosby did tainted his advocacy pretty definitely, you know?
defines herself as a transgender activist. She is saying, "I am a chunk of that monolith. I am."
It's a bit of both. Right?
Stop. Let me
I'm a chunk of that monolith?
finish. I am a
Okay.
foundation of that monolith, okay? I am part of the quartz, of the marble that is holding that foundation together. So if she is
How beautifully said.
willing to go out of the way to say something like that, oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. If she is going to be slandering people, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. I genuinely don't know what you mean. If she's gonna go slandering people, plural, which, if she slanders more and more people, I guess, yeah, that makes her a bad representative. But you still have not established that it makes her a transphobe. I'm sorry. No. No. I'm still with homeless man. I'm sorry.
No, I don't. I don't understand what that.
I'm sorry, I'm still with homeless man.
Has to do with her being trans. I understand why that makes her a
Oh
bad
my
advocate.
lord.
I
Oh
understand
my-
why that makes her a bad.
Oh my lord. I'm sorry. I don't see how that makes her a bigot. I just don't. I think tomfoolery is a trans man, so maybe there's sort of a contributing to the groomer narrative argument to be made, but it's a big stretch and I'm not even sure of that. Tomfoolery is not a trans man. Tomfoolery, I'm pretty sure tomfoolery is a cis man. I'd be really surprised to hear that tomfoolery is a trans man.
Bad advocate for her positions, regardless of what her positions might be. But I don't understand how that makes her transphobic, right?
Exactly. You have not established that at all. That makes no logical sense.
Someone could be a bad advocate for trans people and not be transphobic.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what the comments. He's right, no offense. Mm-hmm. Of course, transphobia.
Right? Like if, for example, you're constantly getting into debates with people who are on the far right and you're just a very bad
Of course.
debater, does that make you transphobic or does that make you a bad debater and therefore not useful in pushing for trans issues?
It makes you a bad advocate. It doesn't make you transphobic. No. Nope. Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, hold up. Can you answer that first? That part there first.
Can you repeat
If you
the
go,
question?
if
Oh, come on.
someone goes
Lost already? That was a simple question.
constantly onto and gets themselves into debates publicly,
Like, this debate is over. You've lost it. You've already lost it. It's 19 minutes and it goes on. I don't know what they're what new points are gonna be unearthed.
with far right people and loses those debates frequently, right? More regularly than they win them. And therefore, the effect of their advocacy ends up being to make other people become transphobic, but that's not intentional. Their goal is to make people become trans allies. They're just really bad at their job. Does that make them transphobic, or does that make them a bad trans ally?
Inherently, no. It doesn't make them transphobic. No, of course not.
Okay. So why is it in the case of someone whose effect of their advocacy might be bad for trans people? What's the difference between her being bad for trans people in terms
It's
of the effect
if you
of her
place the
advocacy
onus
and that
of
person?
responsibility on yourself by defining yourself as a transgender representative.
I'm
Yes.
saying that's the person.
Because
That's the
you're
example.
I'm sorry. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything.
saying
I'm
you're a
proposing.
representative. You're saying
Just-
you're
that's the-
you're
That's the
representing
example
the
I'm
group.
proposing.
That doesn't mean anything. So you're a bad representative. It doesn't make you a bigot. It doesn't follow. I don't think she understands her own argument.
That's the
Yes.
example I'm proposing. I'm
You're
saying my
placing the
example,
leader's
the
representation on yourself.
the hypothetical that I'm proposing here
Hello, Lily Tenchus. Hello, just got here. I'm about 35 minutes behind. Hello.
is that there is a trans person, right, who is very much in support of all of the same trans beliefs that you might have or whatever, right? But
What do they define
they're
themselves as? Are they saying that, oh yeah, I'm
They're-
a
Irrelevant. Totally irrelevant.
I'm like
they
basically a
say,
trans
I am an
activist?
advocate for trans people, right? And they believe all of
We're
the
not going to be watching the whole thing. They're just looping. They're just looping through for the same argument.
right things that you might believe or what I might believe, whatever, right? But they're constantly getting into public debates with people who are on the far right, and they're constantly losing those debates, right?
I have a question.
Does that make them
Has that person touched the
transphobic,
mainstream?
or does-
Has that person touched the mainstream?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, then yeah, the onus is on them. If they touch the
So
mainstream,
they're
hold on,
transphobic?
hold on. If they touch the mainstream, and on the mainstream they specifically said, I'm a representative for transgender people, and they don't really put in the effort to improve in their debate ability.
Is representative the same as advocate? Because I don't think I've ever heard Keffel say that she's a representative. I've certainly heard her.
What? If a person doesn't make enough effort to be a good debater, they're a transphobe? Then that's just stupid. I'm sorry. This is just entering Stupidsville. That makes no sense. I'm sorry, food shops. You lost me completely.
Or call herself an advocate.
Then you can correct me. That's why I said earlier you can correct me. Then you need.
No, you've just lost me completely. Even if it's representative, it's irrelevant. I'm sorry. That just makes you a bad representative, not a transphobe.
Need to correct me. Yeah.
Okay. So if yeah, this person is calling themselves an advocate. I don't think they're calling themselves a representative, but they are
It
calling.
doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's immaterial if they're calling themselves a representative. What does that even change? It changes nothing. If a person says I'm a representative of trans people and does a bad job in debates, that just makes them a bad representative, not a transphobe. Come on. Are you for real?
themselves an advocate for trans people, and they're a bad advocate. Does that make them transphobic?
Hold on, can you repeat the question?
There's a person who is an
Really?
advocate for trans people.
Mm.
They're a bad advocate for trans people, but their heart's in the right place, but they're a bad advocate. Does that make them transphobic?
It more like if you knowingly, sorry, I want to clarify. If you're knowingly throwing debates,
But that's not what Keffels is doing.
hold on. That is sort of where I'm getting at, is that I think that she is actually maybe intentionally lying. Maybe. That's my hypothesis.
Okay.
That's
so
what I'm
your-
throwing
your
out here.
proposal-
Yes.
So your hypothesis is just that maybe she's doing something, therefore she's a No, come on. Have standards. You need standards for these things.
Okay, so what's your
You're gonna just say, "Oh, my hypothesis that it's that maybe she's doing something, therefore she's a worse transphobe than anyone she called a transphobe." Come on, that's unserious.
your idea is that she is intentionally pedo-jacketing Tom, knowing that Tom is not a pedophile.
Intentionally lying? Intentionally like misrepresenting the truth? Yeah.
Okay. And so
But if your heart is in the right place and you're trying as hard as possible, I probably wouldn't place the onus on you as much. But if you are intent,
This speculation is loosely linked together. She needs to provide more evidence for it to have any grounds whatsoever. Yeah. Howdy. Hello, Moves Watcher. Yeah, exactly. This is nothing. This is just a bunch of nothing.
intentionally
let's be
throwing debates
careful.
being a psyop, then yeah, of course, I think that's a bad thing. If you're defining yourself as a representative, right?
advocate. Again, representative is a different statement than advocate.
It doesn't change anything. I'm going to be honest. It doesn't matter what statement you used. Advocate, representative. It doesn't make the argument.
Right?
An advocate, representative in the mainstream, people hear that and they think of the same thing.
But they're not the same thing.
They're not the same thing to you, but people hear
No,
that, they think of the same
No,
thing.
they're not the
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I just like let's grant the representative, okay? X is a representative for trans people, of trans people. X does a horrible job of being a representative. That makes X a bad representative. A bad representative does not Being a bad representative does not make you a bigot. It does not make you a transphobe. It does not automatically follow that if you do a bad job at being a representative, you are therefore a transphobe. Okay? You have to establish that. And that has not been done here. At all. Like, at all. That's not good.
same thing.
Not
A
good.
representative represents someone, right? And so therefore that is someone who is generally put in a position or has been elected to a position, whereas an advocate is someone who just
Yes,
simply
I
has certain beliefs
understand.
that they
I
publicly-
understand where you're getting from,
Sure.
but I promise you, when a boomer hears these two words, I promise you, they
Also, I understand where you're coming from, not where you're getting from. It's either I understand where you're coming from, or I understand what you're getting at. But, you know.
will absolutely think of the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, but they're not. Like,
When a talking head introduces you, when
footsteps.
on CNN on the table, a boomer, your 70-year-old grandpa will hear that and they'll go like, yeah, these are the same thing.
Okay,
An
but if
advocate
you're going to
representative
be
person,
If
motherfucker.
you're going
Yeah.
to be engaged in politics, part of your job in being engaged in politics is to be able to make those differentials clear.
Your
to one's
grandpa is not going to tell you the difference between these two at all. They're not going
okay,
to.
but that's I'm not saying
That's so irrelevant to the point of whether or not Keflos is a transphobe or not. That is okay.
My grandpa has to. I'm saying you
Or
have
your
to.
aunt
I'm
either, or
saying-
40-year-old aunt, or
Good jobs.
35-year-old
I'm saying-
aunt. Oh my god.
I'm saying you have to. If you're going to be involved in the media, part of your job in
Wait,
the
wait,
media.
careful. Let's not get too off track because
This whole thing is off track. It has nothing to do with whether or not. Okay.
I know.
I will rebut you. I will
I
rebut you.
understand.
But let's try
I
to go back.
understand.
Yeah.
Sure. My point is, if you're going to be engaged in media, part of your job in
Okay.
being engaged in media is to be very clear about the differences between certain things that are not obvious to people outside of the media environment. The difference between an advocate and representative is a real difference. Whether the audience is necessarily aware of that difference or no, it still is a real difference. And the difference between someone who is not being useful to advocating for trans people and someone who is actively and intentionally being transphobic, those are different things
Hold
that
on.
perhaps the audience will
They've just redefined transphobia. Like, this has nothing to do with this.
be
Hold
able
on.
to easily be
Hold
able
on,
to
Quibbles.
catch up on.
Quibbles.
quickly.
I
But you
think
should still make clear to them.
Quibbles, I think the disconnect here, I think I know where the disconnect is now.
I know. You haven't established the transphobia. That's the disconnect.
Lynn says just say they're a poor representative. But I think that is where the disconnect
Or
is.
advocate,
Is that for
but yeah, sure.
okay, for the sake of debate, can we just concede that they're the same thing? Please.
No.
For the sake of
No. What this? What? What do you mean? That's not what? Can we just concede for the sake of the debate? Why? First of all, it doesn't change anything, but why? Why even concede that?
debate, so then we don't make this any longer. Please, I don't want to sit here and listen to you quibble for 2 hours.
I don't
please.
either. You
Okay.
should just use the term that,
All right.
that we're both comfortable with. If
Okay,
you're
thank
comfortable
you.
with the
All
term
right,
advocate,
can
then
we just
the term
use
advocate.
advocate? Let's just use advocate,
Yeah,
okay?
Go for it.
All right. So, damn, I look good in black. Sorry, I just want to say that.
You don't look good in this debate, so.
All right. God, I'm feeling really dark enlightenment right now. Okay.
You don't look good in this debate, though. I'm sorry.
For me, there's a difference between
Mm-hmm.
poor representative
Mm-hmm.
and a gross negligence representative.
Still not a transphobe. A gross negligence representative is still not a transphobe necessarily. So, yeah. Why the silence?
Okay.
I don't know what the term is for the second thing. I help me find a second term for the second thing, okay? But help me out here. The only way to stop. Help me out here. But that's the only that's the best way I can accurately describe it. That's the best way I can describe it, okay?
I think that gross negligence is a valid way to think about it, because gross negligence doesn't necessarily mean that your heart is in the wrong place. But gross negligence means that you are someone who ought to know
Sure.
better and doesn't know better, but to the degree that you are as involved
Still doesn't necessarily make you a transphobe. I'm sorry.
as you are, and to the degree that you have enough, there's a reasonable expectation that you should know better, and so therefore it's as though you do know better, even if you don't know better. I think that's a valid criticism of hers. I don't think that even if she's guilty of gross negligence in terms of the way that she's handling certain situations, that it's fair to call her a transphobe. I think it's fair to call her.
I agree, Most Watcher. But it doesn't matter for the question of whether or not Keffels is a transphobe.
Bad as an advocate for trans people. Those are different things.
I guess then it just comes down to what would you define as a something phobe, or like what would you define as racist, or what would you
You would decide it as someone that is actively malicious against the group, that hates the group. What do you mean? For real?
define as like an anti-Semite? You know what I mean? Like then it would just come down to our individual definitions of that. Does that make sense?
No.
Sure. Let's look up the definition.
No.
Transphobic.
Dictionary definitions are stupid. It comes down to our individual definitions. Yeah.
Individual definitions? The what? The definitions that we just make up in our heads?
Then I'm curious if you like.
I don't like
dictionary.
dictionary definitions of shit. Obviously, it just comes down to our individual shit. Yeah.
What? Okay.
Okay, but I think this component of the definition
What?
I'm very comfortable with. I'm curious if you're comfortable with it.
Sure.
The way that the Oxford Dictionary defines it is having or showing a dislike of or strong prejudice against transgender people. Are you comfortable with that as a definition?
I am not comfortable with that definition, and I'm sure you would disagree with that.
No? Okay.
Actually,
What part of that would I disagree with?
do you remember the Israel-Palestine poster discourse?
No.
By individual, does she mean colloquial or just definition she's invented on the spot? I think it's the latter.
The poster
Okay,
discourse? Do you mean the?
So the one where they were ripping off the posters, off the walls.
Oh, that wasn't of Israel Palestine. That was a bunch of people who had been captured by Hamas. Yeah.
Sure.
That I do know. Sure.
Okay. So if somebody rips off the poster stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Would you, even if their heart is in, something that is not rooted in a hatred for Jews, all right?
Mhm.
Would you consider that to be anti-Semitic? An anti-Semitic action? An anti-Semitic action?
So those are two different questions.
But here's the catch. Doing an anti-Semitic action does not automatically make one an anti-Semite. And doing an transphobic action does not automatically make someone a transphobe, right? If you come out to a family member and they're really used to gendering you in a certain way, if they slip up from time to time and make a mistake with your name or pronouns, they're sort of doing a transphobic action, but it does not follow automatically that they are a transphobe. So no, doing an action, a phobic action, does not make someone a phobe.
Is the person anti-Semitic, and is it an anti-Semitic action?
Yeah.
The answer to the question of the action, yeah, I think the action is an anti-Semitic action. Whether
Okay.
it is an anti-Semitic person,
What?
not
Okay.
necessarily.
Yeah,
But the
sure.
action is anti-Semitic,
So I
yeah.
agree with you. So here's the
Mhm.
thing: is that I think the person is not would not be, in my opinion, it unless you catch the person and you actually question them and interrogate them, right?
Mhm.
It will be very hard to determine whether the person ripping it down would be anti-Semitic or not. However,
Sure, because they could be doing an anti-Semitic
However,
act for,
just like how if it's like 2 weeks after George Floyd riots, right? 2 weeks after George Floyd riots, if somebody ripped down a poster of George Floyd, I think it can be reasonably interpreted as it being a racist action, right? Optically. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, but it does not always follow that doing a racist action makes someone a racist, right? Those things are not always intrinsically linked.
That.
I'm sorry, repeat it.
So if somebody ripped down a George Floyd poster like 2 days after George Floyd, 2 days after George Floyd's death, would you consider that to be a racist action?
It depends on what's the poster, but potentially, yeah.
Well, sure, but it's like basically saying like this was an unjust death, and like that's basically the words on the poster, and it was like ripped down. Would you say that reasonably somebody can look at that and say like optically this is like a racist action that somebody like ripped down the poster?
Probably.
You could.
I
don't know
say
I don't
most
know the
likely.
timeline well enough to be able to be confident that 2 days after that it
You don't have to argue about that. Yes, you could.
was valid to be like
You could.
calling someone racist for not having at 2 days after known enough of it to know that his death was
Yeah, but listen, doing a racist action is not the same as being racist, right? There could be context to doing the racist action. Like I gave an example. If a family member misgenders you by mistake because they're used to something else, they're doing, technically speaking, a transphobic action. But it doesn't mean necessarily that your family member is transphobic. That's you know.
just.
Okay,
If it was 3 months after, or if it was on the anniversary of his death a year later, yes. that
sure,
would be-
sure, anniversary. Let's just say anniversary then. Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah,
Whatever
that would be
satisfies your answer. Yeah. So anniversary, all right, it is ripped down, and then you will understandably say it is racist, right? And then so
Yeah, but the next question is the person necessarily racist? I guess.
now we have made the distinction that there are racist actions and then there are genuine racists in their hearts, right?
Sure.
Now,
Sorry, what?
actions and then there are and then so now we have made the distinction that there are racist actions and then there are genuine racists in their hearts, right?
Those are two different things, yes.
Now, can we say that optically wise to another person looking at it, right? That what Keffels is doing when she is defining herself as an advocate, as a transgender advocate, that she is making slanderous attacks at other people unwarranted and carelessly, that
it's a transphobic action? No. I don't agree with that. No.
she can be doing are transphobic actions.
No. Absolutely not. No. No. I would not agree with that at all. I don't know about homeless man here, but no. Being racist implies sort of a history of racist actions and racist outlook on racial groups and society and life more broadly. Action, mindset, and intent, not merely an errant, a racist action or two. Right.
I don't see how that follows.
I don't see how that follows either, to be quite honest.
What is she doing that has to do with trans people?
Because again, we made the connection that there can be phobic.
Can we zoom out? Can we zoom
actions.
out?
It just makes no sense. I'm sorry, the argument is bad. I'm sorry, Food Shops. Your whole premise is just bad.
We are zooming out. This is the zoom out.
I have a question in the
Okay.
zoom out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why is it that Bill Cosby, you agreed earlier,
Again with the Bill Cosby. I think we're gonna finish this soon. Like, this is nothing.
can be a rapist without being a racist, but you don't think that a trans person can be a pedo jacketer without being a transphobe.
If Bill Cosby says that he is, in fact, himself, he identifies himself as a black activist,
Mhm.
and then he performs some degree of gross negligence on his part, no matter if it's related to rape or not, okay? No matter if it's related to rape or not. It doesn't matter if it's rape or not, okay?
Okay.
Gross negligence on his part during a reasonable amount of time. We don't need to define specific lines, okay?
Okay.
During a reasonable amount of time in which he says that he is a black activist, then yeah, it's racist. Yeah.
No, it's what. That's just does not logically follow. I'm sorry.
Of course.
It's racist
Yes.
to rape someone?
It is a racist action.
To rape someone.
It
A
is
white
an
person.
indirect racist action.
No. No, food shops. No, it's not. Oh my god. I can't believe what I'm hearing here.
Yeah.
No.
It's racist
Indirectly.
for him to rape a white person.
If he defines himself as a black,
This is so bad. Godspeed, Arkael. If this is going to be the way the debate goes about transmedicalism, good luck.
activist, like somebody who represents black people in that time period, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If he goes out there and makes black people look bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
By
And
committing
he's a bad representative or a bad advocate. Not a racist.
horrendous acts, and then it gets propagated to the mainstream media, right? Then yeah, of course. Does that make
No, it doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. It just
sense?
doesn't. No.
No.
and the
doesn't.
mainstream media goes,
No, it doesn't. Homeless man wins again. Another round goes to the homeless man.
see, this is what all black people are like.
What makes
And
sense
especially
is that
Especially if the if the person
if you're
defining themselves as a black
Yeah, the person saying this is how all black people are like is the racist. What?
activist is doing this, then yeah, that's humongous. It might set back like the optics of black people for years. Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes the person a bad advocate or a bad representative. Not a race. Oh god.
you can set back black people without being a racist.
Yeah. By being a bad advocate.
But the way that other people are going to perceive it, remember, you already conceded. You already conceded that the way somebody might look at a poster, like ripping off a poster, is already optically racist.
Truly, this is the dankest.
Don't die on this hill, Foods. Your argument is awful. I mean, I agree.
Dungeon.
You already conceded that the way somebody
the
might
act-
optically rip off a poster
I agree. This whole argument is just awful. Awfully bad.
is
The act
optically
itself-
anti-Semitic, right?
Because the act itself has to do with an action that is in opposition. It is showing a dislike or strong prejudice against Jews or
Yes.
black people, right?
Yes.
So
So
I don't
hold
think
on,
that
no,
the-
no, no,
hold
no,
on,
no,
hold on,
hold
hold on.
on.
Hold on,
Not yet. Hold on, you almost got it. You almost got it. You almost.
You don't get it at all, food shops. You don't get it at all.
Got it. Hold
Let me
on,
finish
hold
the
on.
statement.
You almost got
Let me
it. You
finish
almost
the
got
statement.
it. Wait.
The idea of activist feels kind of statist, as though considering one an activist implies an oath of loyalty and failure to follow said oath implies treason and betrayal.
Finish the statement. Let
Yeah,
me finish the
go ahead.
Or
statement.
bigotry, even.
Go ahead.
When you are doing an act that is itself showing a dislike or strong prejudice against black people or trans people,
Hold
whatever
on.
it might be,
Not
that's
necessarily,
different.
right? Not necessarily. We're
That's
talking about optics here.
Hold
We're
on,
talking. No,
let
no,
me
no, no, no,
finish.
no, no. We're
What-
talking.
No, we're not talking about optics. We're not. That's
We
not
are.
true.
No, no, no. We are.
No,
We
we're
are.
We're not.
not.
No,
We're
no,
talking
no,
about transphobia, which is a different thing.
No, but we are
than
talking about
being a
timing. No,
good
but
I'm
we
not gonna
are
lie.
talking
I
about
want to
timing.
hear Quibbles finish.
Okay.
No,
when
why
you're
are you even
talking
here?
about-
This is a 1v1. Like, what the heck? Okay, alright. Who the fuck dragged her in?
I didn't drag her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, you took away my dragging abilities. I no longer can drag people. I'm furious. I can't even like get into the food office. I'm furious. What was I saying? Yeah. So if you're talking about someone
I'm
doing
gonna give it a few more minutes and then we're out.
an act that is itself evidence of strong prejudice against trans people, that is transphobia. If you're talking about an action that is obvious evidence of prejudice against tomfoolery, who is not trans, or whatever it might be, like or raping a white woman, that is not in the same category as racism against black people or transphobia against trans people.
Can
It's just
reiterate.
bad behavior.
Okay, can I reiterate? So
Yeah.
So we have already determined it is within a reasonable scope of time. Yes.
No, we have not made. No.
It
There's
is
no
within-
situation-
it's within the reasonable scope of time in which, okay, just like how there is within a reasonable scope of time where, just like if it's the anniversary of George Floyd's death, right? The anniversary of George Floyd's death, that matters, right? That matters, right? You said so. You literally already
It depends on the
previously
thing
conceded
that
to this.
So okay, yes, in certain
Okay.
cases it can matter
Okay.
the timing of
Okay.
certain acts to decipher whether or not it is
Okay.
racist.
Okay,
yes.
okay, wait, hold on. Fuck. Where's my notebook? I need to write all this down. Fuck's sake, dude. Cause all the parallels are here. All the parallels are
No, they're not. I'm sorry, they're just not.
here. But I just need to piece it together for you, okay?
I need to piece it for you. Oh my god.
Okay.
Dude.
Why are you doing a freaking physical notebook? Put it in a Google
Because
Doc
this
or
is what I
something.
always did. Okay?
Put it in a
Jesus,
Google
where's my
Doc.
fucking-
Why are you not Google Docking? Do you live in the 1940s? It's ridiculous.
I like physical notebooks as well. I'm sorry.
I'm furious.
Okay.
No, this is not. Fucks.
Hipster ass streamer from Emma. That is such a good point, Emma. Yeah. Hipster ass
Um,
streamer.
Actually, fuck it. I'll just use my fucking notepad then.
Put it in an Excel spreadsheet, food shops.
Mm,
All right.
I was just
So-
becoming silly.
So we already understand. Okay, we already
Mhm.
understand that for George Floyd, right?
Yeah.
For George Floyd. So the analogy that is driven here home is George Floyd
Yeah.
poster ripping, right? So for this one, the timing matters in terms of so what is it? Like can we just say for this one it is 5 days, within 5 days
I
time
just
frame?
like to write.
5 days
Oh.
time
Even
frame.
if my
I don't know
somebody-
the
writing is
exact,
subpar.
Somebody
exact
ripped-
dates.
Somebody
I like
ripped
to
the
write
poster
things.
off, right?
I don't
Somebody
remember the
ripped-
exact date. It also depends on the
No.
space. that it's
This is just a hypothetical, okay? This is just a hypothetical we're bringing
Right,
up,
so-
okay?
Okay, so the hypothetical, like,
You're not good at this.
this is the exact conversation we had. Basically, this conversation. I don't remember if it was with you or if it was with actually it was with Kay Fellows and I think Tom. I had a conversation about a particular piece of graffiti that happened in Pittsburgh, and it was specifically about like where the location of the graffiti was, because the graffiti itself was pretty innocuous in terms of what it said. It was like just some like Free Palestine stuff, but it was specifically on the Jewish day school, right? So that because it's on the Jewish day school and because it was the day before the 5-year anniversary of Tree
What
of
are
Life,
you yapping about,
that's
dude? Oh
anti-Semitic.
my god, what
So
are you
the
saying?
point is,
Food shops. This is embarrassing.
that the point is that timing and space is also a relevant component, right? So in terms of space, you could imagine this being on.
What are you
certain
yapping about,
platforms
bro?
that
What
would
are
be
you
appropriate.
saying? Just get to the point.
Yeah. Not the sharpest tool in the shed.
There are certain locations where it'd be inappropriate to put that piece of information.
Okay, what does the location have to do in this analogy in respect to?
You're saying that it's transphobic writ large.
Motherfucking-
I'm not comfortable saying it's racist writ large. Also, why can I not see your notes? Put your notes on the screen. I'm furious. Yeah. Continue. What were you saying?
Okay, can you see the notes now?
Give me a second.
Okay, hold on. I want to share the notes with the fucking class as well.
Class.
Oh, wonderful.
Fuck.
George Floyd poster ripping. 5 days time frame. Somebody ripped the toaster off.
What
That's
the
what I
hell
see.
was that?
Ripping. 5 days.
Well done. Well done.
Time frame. Somebody ripped the toaster off. That's what I see.
Okay, what are the what am I comparing it to again? My mind is so scattered.
Hello, Pipa.
You were comparing that poster ripping to
Mm-hmm.
the things that Keffels did.
Okay. All right.
So that's an example of something that is to do specifically. George Floyd poster ripping has to do specifically with
Oh
a
no,
black man.
we were comparing it to Bill Cosby, right?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Bill Cosby rapes a
So
white
first
woman.
Bill Cosby, okay?
Yeah, Bill Cosby.
Because once you
Rapes-
concede to the Bill Cosby argument, you also necessarily have to concede to
Cool.
the
Let's go with the Bill Cosby
Keppel's
then.
argument as well, right? Yeah, logically.
Awesome. Let's go with Bill
Okay,
Cosby.
all right.
Bill
Cosby.
Cosby rapes a white woman.
Don't talk to me about logic, food shops. I'm doing pretty okay. I'm doing pretty okay. I'm a bit ill still. But you know, I am ill.
So let's just say it's for Bill's Cosby, for the sake of argument, it's also 5 days time frame.
Oh,
Yeah?
Palm Dad.
Okay. So for 5 days time frame, rape the white
In
woman.
reference to what?
Okay, rape the white woman. 5 days time
Okay.
frame.
So 5 days ago, he raped the white woman?
The last time he said he was a black activist. Does that
Okay,
make
so he
sense?
called himself a black activist 5 days ago, and
Yeah.
then today he raped a white woman.
It's not a rape.
So today he raped a white woman. Yeah.
Okay, so just rewrite it that way, because the time frame thing makes me confused about whether it's which one's happening first. So 5 days ago,
Okay, 5 days.
he called himself a black activist.
5 days ago,
He said he was a black activist.
he called himself a black activist. Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Okay. Today he raped a white woman.
And then today he raped a white woman. Okay. Yeah.
So what?
Yep.
Therefore, he's racist against black people?
Okay, cool. To be clear, not
Okay.
cool. That's bad, but continue. Yeah.
So what matters? So we have already differentiated between heart of hearts discrimination and optically discrimination. Yes?
I don't know what optically discriminating.
So for
means.
example, optically discrimination is
optic discrimination, but optically discrimination is just grammatical nightmare. This is a grammatical nightmare. Optically discrimination.
from the outside, somebody looks at it and goes, yeah,
That's right, optically discriminating. I don't know. Do something with this. This hurts my eyes. Optically discrimination.
likely discrimination. Discrimination. You know what I mean?
Okay, so that's the case of the poster where the person themselves, the reason they're doing this act that is probably racist, they're not doing it for racist reasons. They're doing it for other reasons that aren't to do with race. But it can still be discriminatory.
Wait, hold on. It's when, for example, can we say that the George Floyd poster ripping, right? Okay, fuck, my fucking hairpin, fuck's sake. Oh, fuck. Okay.
You good?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, ready? I'll lay out my argument. But here's the thing. Okay,
Please.
George Floyd poster ripping. Okay, 5 days time frame. Somebody ripped the poster off. Okay, and then somebody X ripped the poster off, and then somebody Y looks at the ripped poster, and then somebody Y therefore goes, oh yeah, that's most likely a motherfucking racist person who ripped that shit. Yeah, anyway.
But it doesn't follow that the person is therefore racist.
Therefore, optically discrimination condition is satisfied.
Oh my god, optically discrimination. What a horrible term. What a horrible, horrible term.
Okay. Does this make sense? Does this line of logic make sense?
Yeah, I don't love
It doesn't.
the term optically discrimination, but yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, but you get what I mean, right? You just simply have to get what I mean.
Broadly
Okay.
agree.
All right,
Yeah,
all right,
broadly
okay. So, Bill Cosby, all right?
Yeah.
5 days ago, he calls himself a black activist, okay?
Okay.
We already understand. So, at this time,
Hello, Liam.
Bill Cosby is covered. Can we concede that Bill Cosby is covered by mainstream media?
Yes. What is optically this? She just explained it. It's a grammatical nightmare. That's what it is. A grammar nightmare. Optically discrimination.
Constantly,
for sure.
right? Constantly.
He basically is the mainstream media. Yeah.
Constantly? All right. Since he is covered by the mainstream media constantly, and then can we also say that as a black activist, he especially at the time, right? He is like a major representative for black people, right?
Okay.
He is a massive
No.
representative for black people. No?
No. This is my issue with the representative. Representative is something that is selected by black people.
Okay, wait.
He was not
Okay,
selected by
for
black
fuck's
people.
sake. Okay, fuck's sake. Okay, fine. Then can we just say that like if somebody sees if a white person sees him on the news,
No, it's okay.
then like they will go like, oh my god, like this is what I imagine like black people to be like or whatever the fuck.
A lot of racist white people
Yeah, sure.
think
Like
of him
okay.
as being
Oh my
representative.
god. You
of
know what I
blacks.
mean though. You know what I mean
But
though.
that's
Come
not
on.
the same thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. It makes no sense. It makes no sense even if you grant the representative thing.
Yeah,
Do not
representative.
quibble over these things. You know what I mean.
No, but they're relevant
You
distinctions.
understand this. You're from a minority group. You know what I mean.
Good jobs. They're relevant distinctions. There are actual tribal leaders who are actual representatives of Native Americans in this
Oh
country.
my God! You're
right?
we're
There
we're
are
gonna
other
we're gonna
people-
miss the forest for the trees
There are other
here.
people who are
No, we're not. You're just making no sense. I'm sorry, food shops. Your argument is bad. It's horrible.
just simply people who are well-known Native Americans. It doesn't make them a representative of Native Americans. They're just well-known. It's not the same thing. So if you want to say that there is a large proportion of white people who consider him to be a representative, that's fair, but that doesn't make him actually a representative.
True.
Okay, he's not an. But okay,
Those are
okay,
different
can we
statements.
say he's an okay? Can we just say he's a black activist? Can we just say he's a black
Yes.
activist? Okay.
Sure.
Holy fuck, dude. You're actually so
These
These are
already-
relative
Okay,
distinctions.
you're
I don't
actually
know
so
why
cringe.
upset
You're
by
actually
it.
so cringe. It's fine. You're just very
They're
cringe, but
different
that's okay.
statements.
You're actually very cringe. But I'm gonna promise you, I promise you
Yeah.
that when people hear the word activist, sorry, oh my god, wait, actually, what does he call himself? Does he call himself a black activist or does he call himself a representative? Do you like actually in real life?
Activist.
Okay, he calls
In
himself an
real
activist.
life,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even know if he calls himself an activist in real life. He
Okay,
definitely
okay,
was
okay.
an activist in
Oh
real
my
life.
fuck! Can anybody like fucking search up what he calls himself? What does Bill Cosby call himself?
He called himself Bill. That is a horrible thing to Google, by the way. What does Bill Cosby call himself?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Fuck's sake, dude! What does he
That's a-
call himself?
That's a horrible thing to Google. I don't think she'll find what she's looking for. Typing that.
Representation versus representative is different, I think. This is from Starship Salix, and Starship Salix is a genius. We should stand Starship Salix.
Stop! You could be
Salix.
helping me search up what he calls himself.
This is embarrassing.
Right now, Jesus.
Push-ups.
Hold
Push-ups. It doesn't matter what he
You're the
calls
one who
himself.
brought up Cosby.
These are different because it doesn't matter what he calls himself. Whether or not he calls himself something that is incorrect to call himself doesn't make it true, right?
This is embarrassing. I'm sorry, this is a very embarrassing debate.
It's a weird thing to be looking up in the first place.
Okay.
It's particularly weird because you claim to not believe that this is a distinction that matters.
Can we?
but
Okay.
you keep
Okay.
bringing it up.
I would like to argue that it actually doesn't matter. Sure.
Cool.
Because
So then
because if he
call
calls
him
himself
an
if he calls himself
activist
an
and stop bringing it
activist,
up.
I would say that if he calls himself an
Cool.
activist, to most people, it is also a representative.
No, but that's my point. That most white people understand that
Yeah. Okay.
to be
All
the
right.
case
Yeah. Sure. Fine.
is
All right.
wrong
Okay.
and
So-
is racist.
Okay. So at this time, Bill Cosby is covered by the mainstream media constantly.
Oh my god.
All right.
Okay.
Today, he raped a white woman. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And he, as an activist, okay, he also does activism, right? Like, I need to also insert that, right? Like, he
Okay.
previously to
Yeah,
all of
for
this,
sure.
like, he also does activism. So, he does black activism, okay?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Today he
He
raped
is
a white
now a
woman,
considerably
and
less
then
good
so
black
so
activist.
so his sex scandals go public, okay? His
Sure.
sex scandals go public, and mainstream media covers this.
Yep.
Can we also concede that when a lot of people look at this,
Mhm.
they will basically go, oh my god, this person is
Well, it's about treating.
this person sort of
Is racist against black people? No. Who would think that? Who would?
indirectly, whether in their subconsciously or not, represents black people.
Are you asking will people do that, or are
They
you
will sort of
asking whether or
associate
not
this.
that
They
is
will
a-
sort of make the connection. Yeah.
So it does not follow then that Bill Cosby is a racist. That's what? No,
Are you
They
asking
will
whether
sort
or
of
not-
it will confirm
no, that's just silly. No,
their biases, basically.
Are you asking whether or not people will do that, or are you asking whether or not it is
Whether
valid
or
for-
not it will confirm, it will like in their wait, hold on. Before I say this, okay? Before I say this, all right? Because remember, I'm pretty sure I remember this was the thing as well. Hold on. Do you also concede? Okay, do you also concede that
no.
at when did this happen? By the way, when did the sex scandals happen?
I think they came out in like the 60s, late 60s, somewhere around.
If you wanna donate to make me feel better about myself, please do. I don't think anybody has donated today, so if you wanna make me feel good about this, we're gonna finish this stream soon, so if you wanna make me feel good about everything, then donate.
Around there. I can look it up.
Okay.
It first one was in 65, but he still had his show for then, I think. Yeah, his show was from 84 to 92. The primary allegations ended up being surfaced in 2000.
Wait, actually, fuck it. Can we just skip all of that and say like, regardless or not to the mainstream, like if it's being aired out on the mainstream and he was being aired as a rapist back then, that it was a bad look for black people overall?
I mean, sure, it still doesn't make him racist against black people.
At
That
the
it-
time.
I don't know what you mean by it was a bad look for black people overall. What does that mean?
because whether or not, like, basically irregardless of what he defines himself, okay, irregardless of responsibility, because we are talking about onus of responsibility, right? We are talking about whether or not he can be defined as a racist or not, right? We are talking about whether or not Bill,
He cannot.
because here's the argument, okay?
Argument is stupid.
We are asking in the end, is Bill Cosby a racist, right?
Yeah.
Is Bill Cosby a racist, right? But
Yep.
we cannot ask this question. We cannot ask this question if
Wait,
we
make that in
cannot.
bold. Can you make it in bold?
I don't.
Because you humor me. Thank you. You're very.
No,
kind.
we can't. We can't do that. We can't do that.
Fuck,
Stop. We
that's
can't
terrible.
stop. So we need to stop doing that. Okay. So
Okay.
so we cannot ask this question. We cannot answer this question until we also say that at this time Bill Cosby, because he was outed and because rights, because people didn't really view black people that favorably back then, that it was not really too much of a good look for black people back
Okay.
then.
Black people were harmed as a result of him being a rapist.
Sure.
Yes.
Black people were
Yes.
harmed overall, yeah.
You
Black
can write
people
that,
optics.
for sure.
Can you say black people optics?
It doesn't make him racist.
Were harmed.
The optics around being the
Yeah,
optics
black people's-
of having a the
Like,
optics of
whether
having
they
a
whether they
well-known-
deserved it or not, right? Like whether
Yes.
they deserved it or not. Okay.
Okay.
Black people
Yes,
optics
though
were like as a
undeserved, the
descriptive
optic-
fact. Yeah. Black
though
people.
undeserved, the
Yeah.
optical effects of having a
Were
very
harmed.
famous black man be a rapist
Yeah.
was not good.
Okay,
for the
black people
broader
optics were
black
harmed undeservedly as a result of Bill Cosby being outed as a rapist on mainstream media. Okay, this
Correct.
is probably one of the most important steps that we have to agree to. That we
Okay,
have to
yeah.
agree to. Holy
and
shit.
we do agree with that.
Okay,
Okay.
For
thank
sure.
God.
we agree
Okay.
with that.
If
How
you
does that-
think the next step is that Bill Cosby is now therefore a racist, then no.
Make him a racist.
Okay. So, For me, the American people.
For me, the American people, huh?
Equals somebody Y in George Floyd. This can be summarized as somebody Y.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to make sure we understand this. So somebody ripped off this poster. The
I'm
act.
gonna listen to this argument and I'm done. I'm done. We're done with the stream. It's been fun.
Itself of ripping off the poster.
It does no, it does not matter because it serves
hold up.
optically as this.
It's my turn.
Bill Cosby doesn't have to be X. Does that make sense?
It's my turn. It's my turn.
Okay, go
My
ahead.
turn. Somebody X ripped off the poster. That act of ripping off the poster.
I'm just checking out how Food Shops debates because Arkael is going to apparently maybe debate Food Shops on transmedicalism.
Is directly to do with black people. The act of raping a white person, though obviously horrible, is not directly to do with black people. So to say that they're both harmful to black people is different.
I don't think the American people will go, oh yeah, Bill Cosby is obviously racist against black people.
Than to say that they are both targeted against black people.
No. Somebody Y just so means to me that whenever the optically discrimination condition is satisfied. That's it. So what that means is that he does black activism. He calls himself a black activist.
Here?
Okay, stop. He calls himself, he does black activism. As long as somebody makes the linkage between representation of a race, between representation of a race and the linkage between race and bad actions and the optics overall, then yeah, of course the optically discrimination condition is satisfied.
How
Does
do
that
you
make
define
sense?
optical? Yeah, can you give me a definition of optically discrimination?
Sure.
Corrected it.
Like I said before, right? With the
Write it
Jewish...
out. Write it out. Don't just say it. Write it out. Put it in your notes. These are good notes.
Okay, sure. So, for example, the
I want an example. I don't want an example. I want a definition.
Yeah, sure. From the
What is
outside,
optical?
This is
What is
the
optical
Dankest
discrimination?
Dungeon.
from the outside, somebody looks at it and goes, "Yeah, most likely discrimination." That's the definition.
Okay, so when you look at Bill Cosby rape a white woman, you're saying most people would look at that and say, yeah, most likely discrimination against black people?
Wait, can I edit the definition? Sorry, I made the definition on this
Oh my god.
spot. So you might have to like
Okay.
give...
Hello, Arkael. This... Yeah. I'm just checking a debate by Food Shops to see just how she debates, because you're gonna debate her, maybe, and... Ugh, this is horrible. Good luck. This is bad.
give me some kind of
Yeah.
leeway here. So
That's
okay,
fine.
so
Read it
most likely discrimination can be satisfied
This is
on
horrible.
a subconscious affirmative level.
This is so bad.
There you go. So basically,
Okay,
if it's
so, yeah.
on aka confirming racist biases. Does that make sense?
No.
What?
Oh, I
No.
flatly hate that. I hate that so much. That's a horrible definition.
True.
And I
Why?
reject it
Same.
If I'm cheap and I don't want to spend money when I go to get tacos, and so I buy 1 taco and 2 taco shells so that I can do some shit where I can save $6, or not $6, like 50 cents. Okay, that's me doing like obviously Jewish behavior, right? So it is going to confirm racist biases against Jews. Does that mean that I am guilty of discrimination against Jewish people for buying the cheaper taco?
By that definition, yes. Oh my god! She has to think about it.
The answer is no. The answer is
I
that
think-
black people can do things that confirm racist beliefs of white people without themselves being racist. You can wear your pants low as a black man without being a racist.
Can you confirm biases in
No,
a way
no,
that
no.
can be
I won't do
referred
anything
to as
until-
discrimination?
No, I reject this. I reject this. Tell me that my purchasing the 50 cents saved 1 taco and 2 taco shells, okay, is not anti-Semitic. Okay, tell me that a black man wearing his pants too low is not racist. I demand this.
Wait.
I demand this.
No, wait, hold on. The intentionality doesn't have to be there, but the gross negligence has to be there.
It's grossly negligent for a black
If
man to wear
confirming
his pants too
racist
low.
biases where somebody X representative has to meet the level of gross negligence.
Okay, explain to me what gross negligence means.
Sure. So gross negligence to a severe degree. So if
To
you
a severe degree.
are buying tacos, I don't give a fuck. Okay? But to a just severe degree to where they are
Oh, Jesus.
harming another party.
That's so stupid. I'm sorry.
Wait, what?
So, so for example, I'll tell you how this satisfies, okay? I'll tell you how this satisfies, okay?
It does not satisfy at all.
If Bill Cosby, if Bill Cosby is raping another person and he is expressing enough gross negligence to the point where if he thought it through that as a black activist that raping or coercing another person would harm black people optics overall, then he is committing an act of gross negligence to black people.
Okay,
But that's not racism. Oh my god.
okay, fine.
Now,
Barack
if
Obama.
Keffels,
Wait, hold on,
if
hold on,
Keffels,
hold on,
hold on, the second example,
hold on.
second example. If Keffels is
Keffels.
slandering people online, to a level where she is representing somebody X, all right? If she is representing somebody X, wait, I think, right? Yeah. And then somebody Y can look at it from the outside, a complete third party who isn't involved with anything at all right? She is reaching where if she thought it through, or, you know, even like not even reaching a level of at least gross negligence, then yeah. And in which, yes, they're harming another party. Who is that party, all right? Either it can, not even including me, okay? Tomfoolery or any person who can be basically like not like included or whatever the fuck, right? Then yeah,
She's transphobic, therefore? No.
this would satisfy that condition as well. It's perfect. It's perfect.
It's
Yeah.
not perfect.
Yes,
it's
it's
not
gross
perfect.
negligence,
It's so
gross
not perfect.
negligence, intentionality, and
Food
it
shops.
has to be
Your
another fucking
definition-
person. Yes.
Good
Yeah.
shots.
We're done. Yeah, we're done.
Yes.
Your
Okay.
definition went from something perfectly reasonable.
Because I had
Um,
to make it up
from
on
the
the
outside-
spot. Because I had to make it up on the spot, you dummy head.
Okay, we're done. I'm sorry. I cannot take anymore. It's almost over, but I'm tired, I'm ill, and I have a lot of things to do. This stream was supposed to be short from the get-go. I did it to please the fans. A short 1 hour, 50-minute stream. Thank you all for coming. I love you all. We're gonna stream tomorrow. Love and solidarity. Love and solidarity. We love our non-binary siblings. This has all been very fun, but that was bad, and I have a lot of things to do. One of them being recovering from illness. That was a very bad debate. I don't even want to hear the rest. That was so bad. Good night, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all very, very much. Yeah. Love and solidarity. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.